Greetings and welcome to Creative Consulting Dreams, the COVID edition. My name is Beverly Brown. I'm your host, and I just want to thank you guys for joining me with every day that you decide to join me on YouTube channel or live at this particular point. Creative Consulting Dreams is talking to everyday dreamers about their goals, their dreams, their visions, what it is that they have achieved in life, but mainly the obstacles that they've had to overcome in order to achieve and pursue their dreams. We do this in order that we emphasize to every person, every dreamer, that if you have a goal, dream, or vision that you want to pursue, it doesn't matter the obstacles. We have so many people that go through so many things, and today, definitely, we have such a phenomenal guest here today. I am just so happy to be able to introduce to you my mentor, my friend, my sister, my phenom. I don't have enough accolades for her, to tell you the truth. Everybody knows her in the Phoenix, Arizona area, and if you don't know her nationwide or worldwide, I am going to introduce you today, none other than Miss Sharise Erby-Castle.
Hello, Miss Beverly, Dreamster Phenom. How are you? Hey, y'all.
Say hello to Sharise. Okay, guys, listen. We told you this was the COVID edition, but guess what? We're showing you that we are protected. We are approximately about 6 feet apart, okay? So, but we know you guys want to see our faces because we want to make sure that you do not miss anything we have to say. So we're going to come uncovid.
Uncovid.
But we have followed all the rules.
Yes.
And got your lipstick?
Got my lipstick, because look, we know those masks just, did us in.
Don't you love her?
I'm just saying. We gotta be COVID and cute at the same time.
We're just keeping it real, as we always do it.
We got sanitizer. We got everything laid out right here.
And that's the main thing that we want to do today. Miss Sharise Erby, like I said, I have been knowing you for years. You have been one of the first persons that I met in Arizona that had such an influence over my life. You've awarded me with things. You've just done so many things in my life, and we need a whole nother segment just to talk about what you've done in my life and just how much you mean to me. So I'm truly honored to have you on the show today. So why don't you tell some people about who Miss Sharise Erby-Castle is?
Thank you so much. I love and adore you, Beverly. If I haven't said that enough, if y'all don't know that I love this woman right here, you made me think back because I feel like I've just known you forever, but that's not true. I'm trying to think where we even first met because it seems like I've just known you. Like you've been in my life just always. What did I do prior to the Dream Stare? What did I do?
Oh my God, when was it?
I'm trying to
Academy or with doing the 1 and 9 with
I think it was before. We're gonna have to think about that because we already knew each other at that particular time.
True.
I gotta think back to how we first. I know. That's wonderful when you can't even remember the point of when you met somebody who's that phenomenal in your life. But I'm going to think about that because now you got me going. Because I'm like, okay.
You would have thought we would have rehearsed that before.
I know.
We're not rehearsing this. This is just raw.
It's all real. We're talking.
But you know what? I want to hear about Miss Sharise.
You
asked
about me.
Yes.
It's difficult for me to just sit here and talk about me.
Yes.
I think that I've shared my story so much. So I'm going to talk, but feel free to jump in and get me on a particular path. I'm a native. I'm a Phoenician. I'm born and raised in Phoenix, Arizona.
Nobody's from Phoenix.
I am. Second generation, So we came up in this area, actually, where Pilgrim Rest Church sits right now.
Beautiful.
That property sits on my grandparents' home. So that's actually where I was raised. So where the sanctuary sits is where my land used to be. My mom sold it to Bishop Thomas so that they could build the church right
you
there.
Really are
Absolutely.
Phoenician.
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
So that's where my grandfather had built that home, and that's where my mother was raised. And then once life happens.
Right.
So when I was about 12, 13, my parents divorced. We moved back into that house to care for my grandmother.
Okay.
And so I grew up in that East Lake area. Hey, y'all. That's what we used to consider East Side. So I grew up in that area, thrown stove from the project.
And I look like that because I don't know anything about Phoenix.
I know, she don't know, but
Okay,
any of y'all that have been around, you
know.
all know. And I'm just sharing this just to lay a foundation.
Right.
I grew up right in that area, stone's throw from the projects. I had to walk by the projects to get to the bus stop. Okay. I had to take the bus to high school. North High Mustangs, that's what I'm talking about. So I went to North High, and I became a teen mom. And I when I talk about this, I could almost do my life in a workshop.
Yes.
Because there's so much to learn because of how I chose to go about life. But I'm a pew baby. I was born and bred in the church, in the CME church, and I tell people that. But what's important to know is that when we are in the church, we still need to ensure that that we're teaching the word in such a way that people can apply it to their life.
Absolutely.
The CME church is excellent ground for training, excellent ground. I mean, I learned so much, because they're very methodical, Christian Methodist church. And so I learned the Bible, I learned Robert's Rules of Order, I learned how to conduct meetings when I was like a little girl, and I knew the word inside and out, but I didn't know how to apply the word to my life.
Okay.
And so even as a teen, I became promiscuous. I had my oldest son my senior year in high school, and nobody pulled my coattail. Nobody said, "Look, girl, you being fast out there."
Seriously, I had mine in my freshman year. Okay.
Nobody pulled your coattail. I'm just
to.
saying, nobody pulled my coattail.
Right.
Nobody said, "Slow down, girl. What's going on with you?" And
So how many kids do you have?
I have two. I have two boys. Look.
Right.
Yeah, I have two, because after the second one, I said, for me, I'm not going to be a single mom with, 5 kids, 5 different baby daddies.
Sure.
That just wasn't going to be my story.
Right.
And so I went on lockdown. So after I had my second son, I became abstinent. I was like, ain't nothing happening, clean. And I went on lockdown.
Okay.
That was important to me because, number one, I was raising boys.
Right.
And I didn't want my boys to see a revolving door of men coming in.
Exactly.
I wanted my boys to understand what a chaste woman is.
Right.
I wanted my boys to glean some qualities. And I wanted to change my life because I really didn't want to be that person, because I had a double standard. I was one way when I walked in the church house, and then I was another way out in them streets.
Right.
Okay?
So I'm going to pull her back on track now because she like she said, she had that life, but then you met the person that we both adore and love. So please.
It was some time in between there. So I had to go through a couple bad relationships.
Right.
And those bad relationships taught me what I wanted, what I didn't want. It taught me my boundaries, my standards. It taught me how I deserve to be treated.
Exactly.
And so then I made the claim after my divorce. I was, single for 3 years. I was not interested in getting married.
Right.
I wasn't looking for no husband.
No,
I was not thirsty at all. I was fully, thirsted. I was not thirsty. But I was looking for someone to hang out with. I was looking for the companionship.
Right.
I was looking for someone to, go with me to the jazz festivals and hang out. I was looking for that man that really wasn't looking to get married, but he also wasn't going to be with every Barbara, Jane and Betty out there.
Course.
And so in walked Mr. Michael Castle.
Yes.
And we met online. And, the first time that he saw me, he said, "You're spoken for." I'm gonna marry
He
you.
claimed her.
He did,
Okay.
and I said, you
Right
are
away.
a lie. The devil is a lie.
She fought it, guys. She fought it. She fought it. Trust me, I know. And that's just to say,
did.
yes, you did, because I know the story, because I love me some Michael Castle, and her story is just beautiful. She met that person. He was a wonderful and beautiful person, but unfortunately,
he passed away.
Yeah.
He transitioned,
Yes.
which was very difficult, because
Yes.
that was my one. That was my guy. That was, Here's the thing that I was speaking with someone, and we were talking, and they asked me, do you think, it was a radio show, and they asked me, do you think that you'll get married again? And so, I'm not that girl. I'm not opposed. What I said to them is, if God sees fit to allow a man to find me, and he finds his good thing, I will allow myself to be his good thing.
Absolutely.
Okay.
However,
absolutely. However, with that said, I'm good with Sharise.
Right.
I have fallen in love with myself over the years, and so I'm good. I'm okay with living a single life, if that's what God has for me. Because here's the thing that Mike taught me, and this is going to be a challenge when you think about entering into relationships. What Mike taught me is, we always talk about women knowing our worth, understanding what we deserve to have, our boundaries, our standards. But Michael had a standard of how he wanted to treat his woman.
Yes, he definitely did.
He did. He had a standard. He brought that to the relationship. This is how I want to treat my woman. This is how I want to treat my wife. He told me he wasn't going to date me forever. I'm serious.
We can talk about all of that.
He said, I'm going to give you some time. But this is important. I want women to hear this.
Yes,
because he said, I'm not going to date you forever. You're not going to just be my girlfriend, because I'm looking for a wife. And you're wife material. And so I'm going to give you some space to come to yourself. He said, I'm going to be the Urkel in your life. You, Laura, I'm Steve Urkel. Y'all that watch Family Matters.
Yes.
And he said, and I'm going to wear you down.
Oh, my God.
But in that, he made it clear that he wasn't going to just be my boyfriend.
Right.
He wasn't just going to be dating me forever. This relationship needed to progress toward marriage.
Exactly.
And that's important, because it didn't come from me. It came from him. It came from the man.
It did. And he is, and ever since, the way that I saw him treat you, just like the queen that you are, and you definitely treated him as a king. And just to let people know, he was going through kidney.
Absolutely. He had kidney failure. He was on dialysis, and had been for many, many, many years.
Yes.
And he actually had received his third kidney transplant. And for just months shy of, not even months, weeks shy of 5 years, he had this particular kidney, and unfortunately it failed. And so the kidney failed, and he had to go back on dialysis. And but that's not even I don't want to give the kidney failure the total blame in this, because really it was a freak accident that took his life.
Oh my God.
We talk about the enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy.
Right.
And I feel as though, God allowed it, but the enemy stole him from us.
Wow.
God allowed it. Nothing happens that catches God by surprise.
Nothing.
Or it's that, Mike was tired of dialysis. God said, look, let me, allow you to come on up in here.
Yeah.
But it really was a freak accident. I don't even know if I've talked about this
Actually, you
openly.
haven't. So now is your
but
chance.
his with dialysis, you have a fistula that goes in your arm, and the tubes connect in there, and that's what flushes the blood. It brings the blood in, out. All of you that are familiar can break it down much better than I can. And so he had dialysis on a Friday, was his normal dialysis day, and the fistula had been bleeding. And that's not supposed to happen. And so it was wrapped very tight, and he wanted to unwrap it because it was uncomfortable. And I was like, no, you keep it wrapped because, it was bleeding.
Yeah.
And so he kept it wrapped Friday night. Saturday, he got up to take a shower, so he unwrapped it. And it was bleeding, so he took a shower. We wrapped it back up.
Right.
And Saturday night, he went to bed. I'm a night owl. I'm not a morning person.
No, we know
so
that.
I'm not a morning person. My girl knows. Okay, so my internal clock starts around 10 a.m. But I stay up till about 2 or 3 in the morning.
Exactly.
And so I had been up late, and when I came to bed, he was asleep, and everything was fine. His arm was wrapped. Sometime between that time and the time we got up at 8 a.m. to go to church, his arm had started bleeding from the fistula. And so when he woke up, he woke me up and said, you need to get a towel. My arm is bleeding. And so I got a towel. We wrapped his arm. We were going to take him to the emergency room because we woke up. And I don't go to bed sleeping like this. I had to throw on some clothes. And I threw something on. At the time, my car wasn't working. Neither of our cars were working. So I called my son, and he just lived like 5 minutes away. And so he came over to take us, and I walked out of our bedroom and saw Mike laying on the floor and full of blood. And so, that, and unfortunately, they came and they took him, and he still had a pulse and he was breathing. When they took him, they told me it was not unto death, and that they would take him to the hospital. They'd have to give him a blood transfusion. They'd have to do some things, but they did not expect it to be unto death. And in him being transported from our home to the hospital, he passed away. And so it was a very traumatic experience because my boo had just found me.
Yes.
We still had life to live. He promised he was going to be chasing me around in wheelchairs in the resting homes when we were like in our 90s, okay?
It's just a beautiful love story because you know how much I loved him, and I just know how much he adored you, and it was just
he loved you right back.
Yes, he did. He loved everybody. And plus, he was a comedian, too, guys. You would have to have known Mr. Michael Castle to know that. And he just, I want to just say how much he just supported you with all that you did, and you did a lot. And that's what we want to talk to you about today as well.
Absolutely. He was a great supporter. He was definitely one of a kind. Mm-hmm. And I'll just say this before we transition into anything else is that, allow people to grow.
Yes.
Allow people to grow. Don't chain them to their past or to their beliefs, because we evolve and we grow. And when Mike and I, when we first got together, he's always been supportive, but he thought what I did was great.
Yes.
And then once we got married, he was like, that person's on your phone? Why are people calling you at midnight? We didn't live together. We didn't do all of that stuff.
Right.
I didn't have premarital sex. He didn't get none until he, put the ring on and we said,
TMI.
I do. So y'all know. And so he didn't know what my everyday life was like when he wasn't with me.
Right.
And so once we got married and he, lived with me, and he was like, people are calling you at 11? Why is that person calling you? What? He was overwhelmed by my lifestyle. And initially it was difficult for him. Just what I do, it was difficult. He couldn't comprehend all the things that I do personally and with P-Win. And so it was a lot for him to take in. But he changed because he loved me and he believed in the work that I do. He believed in the people that surround me and the people that I work with in our community.
Yes,
he got it. He got the bigger vision. And I made sure I took care of my man. I made sure we had our time and that we did things together. That was just our time. We turned off the phones. I also took care of my man. And so he was good and he was supportive and he truly loved the community. He loved serving the women as well. He adored you absolutely 100%. And so he just was he was the epitome of a really good man, a loving man, a beautiful spirit. But he's also the epitome of someone who is so in tune with themselves and in tune with God that they know when they need to make changes. I didn't have to nag. I didn't have to voice my opinion. He heard from God and made changes and adjustments.
Isn't that the beautiful thing? And this is what, evidently, as you can see, how much she loved this man and adored him. And that right there is a story by itself. It's a love story to let you know that there are real, beautiful,
Absolutely.
wonderful men
Absolutely.
that are still there, that, you know, that treat their woman like a queen. And that's definitely what we want to test to Michael Castle. So we say hello to Michael Castle. And which leads us to the point of who Sharise is. Like you said, P-Win, your organization, let's talk about that so we can talk about all this other great stuff.
Yeah, we love it. So
happening.
the Phenomenal Woman Empowerment Network is a 501c3 organization. We are your #1 choice for personal, professional, and spiritual development. And that's our goal, is to really develop a platform that will help women and a few good men live their very best life right now. And our goal is to really help you, to meet you where you are and help you get to your next level of success. No matter where we are, we all have a next level.
Absolutely. You never stop.
You never stop.
You never stop.
And so with that, we want to help you get to your next level of success. What can we do to be that platform that helps you? And so we've just, you know, God has really molded us and allowed us to be an organization that somehow, I'm not going to say that I had all of the answers in the blueprint and that I had a hand in this. It's really what God formed this organization to be. We've been able to create this platform that we can be a conduit to people. We can be a resource center.
Right.
We can be that organization that can be a platform for you to grow, whoever you are, in your next level. And it's just been an amazing opportunity. Today, we've been able to serve over 15,000 women internationally. Hey!
Hello!
I love it. I love it.
15,000 internationally.
And then we've been able to help 122 women start their businesses.
Yeah.
And so we do a lot of training, working with entrepreneurship. You know, our base, about 93% of our base are entrepreneurs.
Right.
And so we do a lot of work with our Grow Your Business boot camps and, you know, just the classes and the trainings that we provide, along with the referrals and the behind the scenes work. And then we have the Carrie J. Gray Scholarship and Award Program, which I love. It is named after my mommy, who has transitioned. She welcomed Mike into, you know, God's heavenly doors when he was called to glory. And so we named the scholarship program after my mom because education was very important to my mother.
Right.
She was a high school dropout. Later, she had to go on to get her GED, and she obtained her associate's degree and her bachelor's degree. Mm-hmm. And you know, that was at a time where an associate's was like a really big thing. Right. And she did all that while she was a single parent. And she was an entrepreneur, and she worked for the city of Phoenix. She was in management with HUD. And so she really put a big emphasis on education. So when we got ready to put this scholarship program together, of course we had to name it after her. A couple things that we did. It's a little bit of a different scholarship program in the regards that we partner with these young ladies throughout their collegiate journey. Okay. It's not a one-time scholarship. We partner with them for all 4 years. They become a part of our organization. We provide mentorship. We're there to answer their questions. You know, we do monthly sit-downs with these young ladies, and it's a free-for-all. Whatever you want to ask. And they have asked some really great, profound questions, but it's helping them navigate through their collegiate years.
So what are their ages? Is it just college or is it high school as well?
We get them when they come out of high school. Okay. So you have to be graduating high school. Okay. And then we partner with you throughout your collegiate journey. Wow. So we get you when you're entering into high school, and we're there with you. We've graduated one young lady out of Johnson Wells in Denver, Colorado. So she's our first graduate through the program, and she's living in Seattle, Washington now.
That's awesome.
And we have 3 young ladies that are in the program. And it's just a beautiful thing, but we partner with them. We do provide financial assistance. One of the things that I learned when my oldest son went to college, He obtained a football scholarship. Yes.
Yes.
I was so excited, and I thought, okay, everything's going to be paid for. I don't have to pay for a penny. It's going to be all good. All those little amounts, it really killed me. I was a single mom. I didn't have the money. $1,500 is not a lot of money until you don't have it.
Right.
And so with this organization, with this program, that's what we do. We pick up all those smaller pieces that the big scholarship didn't cover. Your lab fees, your book costs, your registration costs. We pick up all of those fees as we have funding available in our organization.
So I've been to, 3 of the PWINs? How many years is it now since you've been doing the Phenomenal Women Organization Network thing that we're going to talk about in a second?
So our event is in its 9th year.
9th year.
9th year, yes. And I think
at least 3.
Did you come when we were at the Scottsdale Public Library?
No.
Okay, so you have been
here.
Okay, so you have been 2017, 18, and then this year.
Yes, I have. Yes. And you awarded me in 2018 or 17?
18.
Shocked me to death with an award. It was unbelievable. I felt so bad. They still have me on tears.
Yes, but that's part of what we do. So here's what happened. So the conference started as just a once a year conference,
right,
to help me with my own issues. I needed to bring women together to help me. And what I found out by the end of the day is that there were a whole lot of women that were in the same situation that I was in. I wasn't by myself. So I continued the event. So it was a once a year event. And then in 2013, God tapped me on the shoulder and said,
do it again.
You can't get away with this. Return to your first love. And so then we became a 501c3 organization and not just a once a year event. And we began to work with the community and begin to work with women and continue to host our annual conference, because our annual conference provides us with our funding for the year. It provides us with the funding for our training programs, for our scholarship program. It provides us with that. And so we do it every year. And
this year, let's talk about that, because we need to before we run out of time.
Yes.
We must definitely let them know how phenomenal it is. And the reason why we even want to put emphasis on it, because right now this is going into August, it's the end of July, and it's that post-COVID thing going, and people have been afraid to have events, of course, to get together. It's just not happening. And I just want to give kudos to Sharise, because she's stepping out on faith and say, you know what, I'm going to set this date. And the date is set for August the 15th for you to have your, so this is like the 10th, was 2013?
No, this is our 9th. This is our 9th. It was supposed to take place in May, but we had to push it from May. We had no choice. Everything was locked down. So we set the date for August 15th.
Yeah.
So I had to make a decision. Are we going to do it, or are we going to move it again to 2021? And I Spirit led. I talked to my mentors. I talked to my coaches. I talked to a few ladies who already held tickets, and we decided to just run across the finish line and to run with the event. And we have an amazing lineup. So this is our 9th year. Our theme is Vision to Victory. And, nothing happens by happenstance. God is in control of it all. And He knew what we were going to be going through in 2020. And at this time, by the time August 15th comes around, we need a reboot.
Yes.
We've been through so much. We need to come together. We need the energy in the room. We're going to social distance, but we need the energy in the room, and we need these speakers to come and push us and prod us and encourage us into our next level of success.
We're going to talk about social distance, and then we're going to hit you guys with the...
Can we tell them about the speakers?
Hold on,
Okay.
I wanted to let them know.
Okay.
First of all, you're having this event, and everybody's looking like, what she's doing? What? She's going to have people in the room? Trust me, she's following all the guidelines. She's even ordered a social distancing kit that she's going to give out. And they'll have these, in places so that they'll be 6 feet apart?
Absolutely. To help us be 6 feet apart, we will have these, and they're yellow, so they will grab your attention. Bring your mask. If you don't have a mask, PWIN will provide masks. They say Phenom on them because we're Phenom.
Yes.
And they're individually wrapped, so no one will be touching your mask. It's individually wrapped. You can see that. And so only you will be opening it. So we're going to make sure that we're social distancing. And here's the other thing. Initially, this event was going to top out at about 350 people. We were going to be in a beautiful lakeside room that maxed out at about 350 people. The venue is phenomenal. We're at the JW Camelback Inn Resort and Spa. They said with everything with COVID, we are going to upgrade you. And they upgraded us to the Paradise Ballroom, which normally starts at about 1,000 people in that room. And we've lowered our max because of COVID, because of having people come together. So we're going to max out at about 150. And so we have a small number of women in a large room that will allow us to social distance. Our vendors will be 6 feet apart. We will be at the crescent round tables, which will be 6 feet apart. Instead of 10 people at a table, it would only be 4 people to a table to allow us to have space. If you feel that you need more space, you can pick up your little old chair and go move it somewhere in the same room that you can still be a part of what's going on. But if you need to sit aside, if you want to take your mask off, if you will have space to be able to do that. We're taking over all the restrooms, because we only have about 5% of men that attend, and there's a smaller restroom for the men. We're taking over the big men's restroom. They're changing the sign to say women, so that we have more access to hand washing, less lines, the whole thing.
Taken care of. So we definitely want to emphasize that. And like I said, I commend her because in Arizona, trust me, events go on like crazy.
Absolutely.
And so far, no one has really had one. It's now Sharise is actually doing this one, and I'm so happy because we're so ready to do something together. And I got a VIP seat. Hello, my girl. Y'all don't see, but my girl LaDanya is sitting here, and we call this an audience.
VIP.
Yes. LaDanya, you're in the VIP area, and now. Can we get to the speakers? Because I think we may have...
Speakers! Okay, our speakers are phenomenal. We have Prima Donna Braddock. She's coming out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. We have Demetrius Thigpen. He's a Marine. He's been a Marine for 10 years. And he's coming to really talk about our thoughts. He's phenomenal.
Guys can come too.
Yes, guys can come.
People know.
Come on in. Yes, men are welcome. We have Erica Renee Moore. She's local here in Phoenix, Arizona, Faith Christian Center. She's coming. Lucinda Bloomfield is coming out of Yuma, Arizona. You all will love her.
And
are you ready? Our featured keynote speaker is Lisa Nichols herself, motivating the masses.
I'm sorry, I was drum rolling. Lisa Nichols, everyone.
Lisa Nichols, motivating the masses. She is our featured keynote speaker. I'm honored. I'm blessed that she was willing to come. She's excited to come and be with our women. She has moved things around. She has stretched to make sure in the midst of COVID that she can come to PWIN and that she can be here with our women. She told us that this is the only live event that she's doing in 2020 and probably the first part of 2021. So if you want to see her live, this is going to be the event to be able to see her live. I am just honored. I'm blessed. Thank you for getting your VIP ticket, being in the room.
I wouldn't be anywhere else. So
it's just going to be phenomenal.
By the time we air this, hopefully it will be maybe a couple weeks before the show is actually on, but they may still have time to purchase tickets. How would they do that?
Yes, you can go to www.pwee2020.com, pwee2020.com. You can purchase your tickets. Tickets will be sold online until August 10th. August 10th. After August 10th, we will not be selling tickets.
But I will be in the house.
Yes, we will not be selling tickets on site because of COVID and social distancing. We don't want to sell tickets and hold up the lines, etc. There's going to be a brief check-in. You'll get your wristbands. You'll get what you need, and then you'll enter into the space. We don't want to exchange the money and be doing all that at check-in. So you must get your ticket prior to August 10th. You can go online, pwee2020.com.
We'll have that at the at the bottom of the screen.
But you can Google it. You can Google Sharise Erby, Google PWIN. You'll find it.
So, and I just want to say, the emphasis is, like I said, we wanted to just make sure that people knew that you are doing something during this COVID time because people need some hope.
Yes.
We have to follow guidelines. I don't
Yes.
think the world will ever be the same as far as what we have to do for social distancing. Who knows at this point? But at some point, we need something to let us know that we have to have the faith to know that if we schedule something, or if it's something that we know God has blessed us with to do, that we try to go forward with it with faith, with the guidelines, of course following what the government has told us to do, but we know we need to emphasize, please have faith to do your events, to do what you have to do, follow the guidelines, have some hope. Have the spirit to move forward, and to let you know, this is just another obstacle that we're talking about. This is what Creative Consulting Dreams is about. Overcoming obstacles to still pursue your dream and her dream of having her 9th annual P1. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I mean, Sharise, of course, you can tell, we can sit here and we can talk
All day. All day.
all day and all night about so many things, but I just want to thank you so much for blessing me to be on this show, and to know that I'm just so honored that Lisa Nichols is coming to town. I mean this is rare, God, that this is happening. So thank you so much for joining us for Creative Consulting Dreams. We hope you enjoy the show. This is August 15, 2020. July. What is today?
We're in
July. We're in July. We're
Yes,
just going to say
July
July
30th.
2020 because this is on, it's going to be on YouTube. And we just want people to know that this
Yes.
is the time that COVID is happening. But we are trying to do the promise of doing what we need to do to move forward in our lives within the realm that we have to do it. So thank you again for joining us. Thank you, Sharise, Erby-Castle.
Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. And I just want to say thank you, guys. Please continue to pursue your dreams and know that your dreams can become a reality. Thank you and have a blessed day.